it's Melissa from White Castle with Books, and today I'm going to be doing the TBR tag. I was tagged to do this by Charlie Anderson at Reader Turned Writer, and I will link her in the description below. And I will also link the original tag if I can find it as well. I'm not sure who the original author of this tag was, but without further ado, we'll just get right into the questions. Question number 1 is, how do you keep track of your TBR list? And in classic Melissa fashion, I am not really very organized about my TBR at all. I have inventoried every book that I own, so I have a list of all of the books that I have, and then on that Google Doc, I just color the title in red if I have read that book. So out of the books that I own, I have a whole bunch of red ones that I've already read, and then I have all of the black titles are the ones that I have yet to read. So I have a huge list on there of just all the books that I own that are on my TBR list. And then I have lists on Amazon basically of just books that I want to purchase, and obviously if I want to purchase them, I have every intention of reading them. So those are the two ways that I sort of kind of semi-organized keep track of my TBR. Question number 2 is your TBR mostly print or ebooks? And it is almost exclusively print. I'm actually not really very into ebooks. I would rather listen to it or have the physical book in my hand if I'm gonna sit and read it. I don't usually even read ebooks. I probably should get more into it because I think it would be handy. But as of now, almost exclusively, I have print books on my TBR. Question number 3 is, how do you decide which book to choose next from your TBR? And for me, this goes heavily on my mood. I just have to be really careful what I read at certain times depending on my mood. So I usually pick a book that has been recommended to me by somebody I really trust, and I just kind of go by reviews of that book to decide whether it is something that I can handle at the time. So that is mostly controlled by mood and somewhat controlled by recommendations as well. Question number 4 is, which book has been on your TBR list the longest? And for me, I've just decided to go with Harry Potter because, shocker of shockers, I've never read the series for myself. And I feel like even though I haven't technically had it on a TBR list for a super long time, I feel like it really should have been on my TBR list. So it's just kind of like the one that should have been read a long time ago and has been on my TBR list for a really long time. Question number 5 is, what is a book you have recently added to your TBR list? And I decided to go with How to Talk So Little Kids Will Listen. This was recommended to me by Charlie Anderson at Reader Turned Writer, and she told me it's a really good parenting book, and I'm always looking for awesome parenting books because I have 2 little children that are very rambunctious and are a handful, and when you are totally at your wit's end with them, it's nice to have a reference from somebody else who knows what they're talking about and has done a lot of research that might potentially help in a situation. Question number 6 is, which book is on your TBR strictly because of its beautiful cover? And I decided to go with The Bells by Danielle Clayton, and this is mostly on my TBR because of its beautiful cover. I think it has a beautiful cover, but I was also recommended this book by a friend, so I was looking at it because of its beautiful cover, and then I eventually picked it up because it was recommended to me by somebody that I trust. So I'm going to try this book out hopefully in April, I think. Question number 7 is, which book is on your TBR that you never plan on reading? And I found this question to be a little bit interesting. I guess maybe if you own a whole ton of books and you don't ever get rid of books, you might have books on there that you just own that you don't plan on reading. But for me, I don't really own any books that I don't plan on reading. I did a massive unhaul when we moved out of our house, and I got rid of a bunch of books that I really did think I wouldn't read. There are some biographies that I probably won't get to very soon, so I guess that maybe counts. If I keep putting them off and keep putting them off, I may end up not reading them. But for now, I do have the desire to read them. I just don't know when that will happen. But I don't really own any book that I wouldn't at least want to read. The next question, question number 8, is, what is an unpublished book on your TBR that you are really excited about? And to be honest, I'm not really up on upcoming books very much right now because I feel like I just have so many already published books that I'm trying to read, and I'm kind of focused on that. But basically, I'm excited to read anything that comes out by Brandon Sanderson. I'm a huge fan of his writing, and I'm also a huge fan of his teaching, which he has a whole bunch of lectures on YouTube that I've watched over and over again. So I love to listen to his lectures, and then I love to read his books and see his teaching implemented in his writing. And he just has incredible magic systems, and his characters are always really well-rounded. So anything by Brandon Sanderson that is about to come out, I'm excited for. Question number 9 is, what is a book on your TBR list that everybody has read except you? And once again, I'm going to go with Harry Potter. I don't know of anybody else. I've never met anybody else that hasn't read that series. I'm kind of a loner in that. I feel like most people would just be utterly shocked if they found out that I hadn't read Harry Potter yet. So I really need to get to that series. I am starting it this month, so hopefully I will just pound through the books, and then I will be caught up with everybody else. Question number 10 is, what is a book on your TBR that everybody recommends to you? For me, again, I'm just going to bring up Brandon Sanderson because some of my closest friends that read a lot as well are huge Brandon Sanderson fans, so a lot of the time when books come up, we're talking about his books, and they're always recommending his books to me. So anything by Brandon Sanderson, especially his Mistborn series, which I'm just in the middle of the second era on those series, so those came highly recommended by a lot of my friends who are avid readers as well. Question number 11 is, what is a book on your TBR that you are super excited to read? And I'm going to say Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. I really would love to just sit down and dedicate a month to that book and not feel like I need to rush through it because of other books that I want to get read. I kind of just haven't really picked it up and started it because I know it's going to be all-consuming, and I wish I could just sit down and dedicate my time to that. I might just try to get ahead with my reading goals and then be able to dedicate a month to that book because I want to be able to experience the book fully, and it's a massive book and it will take me a long time to read it. Hopefully I will be getting to that soon because I am super excited to read it. And the final and 12th question is, how many books are on your TBR? I just have an infinite amount of books on my TBR. I feel like most avid readers feel this way, where you're just like, I literally want to read every book in Barnes & Noble. Every time I go into a bookstore, I get this like anxiety feeling like, oh, I wish I could just read every book. Why can't I just sit and read all the time? I have about 340 books that I own, aside from my children's books. A sizable amount of those I have already read, but many of them are still on my TBR, so I could probably just say an infinite number and that would not be a lie. Alright, that was all of the questions on this tag. I would like to tag Katie at Katie's Booktube. I don't know if she's already done this tag, I'm not 100% sure, but I tag her anyway in case she wants to do it. She's really awesome and she does beautiful videos that are very quality content and enjoyable to watch, so I would like to tag her. And I would also like to tag Summer at Tales of Adventure. I don't know if she's done this either. I apologize if they've both done it, but I tagged both of them. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, I will see you in my next video.